Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm Vanessa, your host. This episode is all about Halloween here in Uruguay. We just celebrated it last week, and there's a lot for you to know about Halloween and holidays in general here in Uruguay. So let's get into it. So if anyone's asking or wondering, yes, Halloween is celebrated here. It's definitely become more popular as the years have gone on since I've been here for both kids and adults. Now, don't think of it as like your typical American style Halloween, because it's not like that here exactly. In the US, kids go trick-or-treating in neighborhoods, and they go house to house. Here, the difference here is that kids are used to going trick-or-treating at the shopping malls. They call them shoppings here. Or other places of business. And I think now it's becoming more popular to do it in your neighborhood. However, since we live on the countryside, and we eventually end up going into Montevideo, into the city for trick-or-treating. So the kids typically, like I said, they'll go to the shopping malls and they go from store to store, and each store goes handing out candy to the kids. Now, the candy itself is a little underwhelming that are given out. And if you have small kids, it's probably not that great because it's like kind of like the hard type of candy. So I really do miss American style candy where it's chocolate and Twix and Reese's and Snickers bars and all that good stuff. Hershey's Kisses. Yeah, no, they don't hand out chocolate here. The candy they hand out is like Starburst or something like that. The kind of like the hard type of candy. So like I said, it's a little underwhelming, but my kid doesn't really realize that because all she knows is Halloween here. So like I said, every business pretty much, you definitely feel like you're in the Halloween spirit as you're out and about and going around. Not necessarily because the houses are decorated, because they're not. But the businesses themselves, like they'll have like spider webs or, you know, a little sign hanging that says Happy Halloween, pumpkins, all around. And some places actually get like really into it and have like the scary stuff. This was actually the first year I saw, I guess they call them like pyrotechnics, or I don't know what that word is, but for the kind of like inflatable or like the Halloween decorations, it's like kind of like a statue that like moves and scares you and has sound, and it's like a witch going like hee hee, you know, kind of thing. This was the first year I saw like that, surprisingly. And it's so funny because here they think like of Halloween as like always being like really scary. And like, yeah, I mean coming from New Orleans, like, the haunted houses are insane in New Orleans. An actual Halloween haunted house is like pretty terrifying. That's so funny because some people kind of have like an idea, some Uruguayans here have an idea that's like really scary. So like I'll see like the costumes that I see, they're actually kind of scary, surprisingly, but they kind of go along with it. I think it's more of like a commercial holiday here than anything, and they are adapting to kind of like an American way of celebrating Halloween. But otherwise, like I said, the decorations, there are more and more decorations, and they've been getting better and better as the years have gone on. Now, the traditional original pumpkins, I have to say, are hard to find. Last year, I saw them, in the previous 2 years, at a specific store, kind of like the nice, fancy grocery store. There's one here called Devoto Fresh Market. They had pumpkins, but I didn't see it this year. And here, the all year round, there's always like squash, like a pumpkin that's, instead of orange, if you know, like a regular, normal like pumpkin, like orange pumpkin, instead of it being orange, it's like green, like acorn squash pumpkins, I guess they're called. I don't know. But anyways, it looks like a regular pumpkin, except it's just like green and like a little bit yellow or like kind of orange. So I just got like a few of those and stacked those up outside of our home. I just got them at the local, like the corner fruit and vegetable stand guy. So that's one thing. So we haven't carved pumpkins here yet, but or like I said, that type of squash. But I think next year we're definitely gonna try to do it. We actually had a Halloween party at my house, kid-themed Halloween party for my daughter, because she is obsessed with Halloween. I don't even know how she got into Halloween, but ever since she was a baby, like 1 year old, she was never like freaked out or spooked out by the, scary Halloween stuff. So we have quite the decorations at our house. But she had been begging me for a couple years to have like a Halloween themed party, and we actually did it. I hired these basically like kid activity leaders that to entertain the kids and to organize the games and like a treasure hunt and all that kind of stuff at our house, so they can entertain the kids and I don't have to worry about organizing the kids' activities. And we just kind of got to hang out with like the other parents, and it was really cute and really funny with the parents, because like once we got the Halloween invitation and we sent it out to the parents like a couple weeks before the party, I had to run into some of the parents at school pickup, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like we've never been to a Halloween party before. We're so excited." And I just like kind of chuckled, because I was like, "Well, we're all gonna be Uruguayan. I mean, like it's all gonna be Uruguayans there, so." It's not going to be something like crazy American specific, but I think it was good for them to kind of see like, yes, like we do decorate our house inside and outside, and I think they like really enjoyed it. We did like a Halloween party, merienda, so I had, lots of snacks laid out and stuff. So they really, really enjoyed it. Everyone had a great time. So that was pretty much it about Halloween. We got sick. I ended up catching a cold. So I apologize for my voice. Catching a cold from my daughter. I think just when you have all those kids in your house, I mean, you're bound to get sick. So we're coming off of that. And yeah, so that was pretty much Halloween, the wrap up. And then we're kind of going into the holidays now. The next holiday for us is Thanksgiving. We love Thanksgiving, and we still celebrate Thanksgiving here in Uruguay, even though no one here does. But Thanksgiving's always been like a really special day for me personally. I've always loved it. And we usually let our daughter miss school that day. And they do have turkeys here. However, my one pet peeve about the turkey, they call them pavitas. There's just one brand. It's called Sadia. One brand of frozen turkeys that is Brazilian, and they already come pre-seasoned. So yes, that's easier for me on my part, because I'll be cooking the turkey at our house. But I personally like to season it myself and kind of make it like my own style of like how I make the best turkey ever. And so the one that you get here that comes pre-seasoned is kind of a real bummer for me, and it's sad. But anyways, the next major holiday coming up that we'll be going into is Christmas, which is like right around the corner. So Christmas here, yes, is celebrated. But again, it's a little underwhelming, I have to say. And the reason why I say that is because I'm used to like houses like putting like Christmas lights. In the US, people go crazy with the decorations like on the lawn, lights around the house. And here it's just a little bit more subtle. And just to kind of give you like a background in general about holidays in Uruguay, back in 1919, Uruguay adopted a new constitution that formalized the separation of church and state. And with that, it led to a law that secularized religious holidays. So there's that true separation of church and state in the sense of also like the Uruguayan calendar. For example, like the dates of the normal common holidays remained, like December 25th is Christmas, but the names have changed. And this was a way for the Uruguayan government to allow citizens to spend the holidays how they want to without claiming it to be religious, which is very unique because if you know Latin America, a good majority of Latin Americans, Latinos, are Catholic. And because of that, even though Uruguay has that separation of church and faith, there are Catholics, but mainly it's not kind of like blah, thrown in your face kind of thing. So family traditions around like these religious holidays still remain, but they don't have that in your face religious aspect of it. So for example, Christmas Day is called Dia de la Familia, Family Day. They don't call it Christmas to take the religion out of it. The next one would be, let's say, in January, Dia de Reyes, which is King's Day, January 6th. I love it for king cake, being from New Orleans. But January 6th is also the day that the kings come, traditionally, I think it originates in Spain, that the kings come and visit the kids and leave candy, like the shoes. Kids leave their shoes at the front door, and the three kings come on their camels and leave candy in the shoes of the kids. That's kind of like the traditional holiday. So it's very much celebrated around kids. And because of that, in Uruguay, they call King's Day, which is Dia de Reyes, they call it Dia del Niño, which is Children's Day. So that's just to kind of give you and also, how did I forget? In Easter week, instead of calling it Semana Santa, like it's called in all of Latin America, they call it Semana de Turismo. And they kind of take that opportunity for Semana de Turismo to promote travel and tourism within Uruguay. So usually a family will take that week off and, go to the beach or go to kind of like more inland to another town within Uruguay and kind of do a little vacation within Uruguay, is how it's largely promoted here. So Semana de Turismo, Tourist Week, is what it's called. And yeah, that is pretty much the gist of how holidays are looked at and celebrated here in Uruguay. And in being here for almost 5 years, it's really nice. I actually appreciate it. I appreciate that there is that a true separation between church and state, and however some of those traditions are still preserved within the family. It's up to you how you want to celebrate your Christmas or your Easter week or Semana de Turismo, your spring break. Well, it's not spring, but it's kind of like a fall break here. So, yeah, so that's pretty much how it is here in Uruguay. All right, thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more of this type of content, please like, subscribe, and send in your comments and all of your questions about Uruguay because I will read them all. Thanks. Cheers.